Have you ever been afraid of boondocking?
We're going to talk about that today.
I'm Garrett.
And I'm Carolyn.
And we're Diary of a Family.
And we're living life intentionally with you.
Today we wanted to talk about boondocking. We wanted to go over some of the fears and misconceptions that you might have and kind of some of the experiences that we had while we've been boondocking. We were afraid that we would not be able to boondock because we didn't have solar, we didn't have lithium batteries or a huge massive inverter.
We weren't sure what our rig was capable of and like how much energy we had in those batteries. We hadn't tested out, knowing that we weren't supposed to take our regular batteries down beyond half.
Yep. Now keep in mind, our trailer was completely stock when we bought it. We did not have any additions added on with batteries or inverters or anything like that before we hit the road. So really and truly our only experience with our trailer up until the point we got on the road was
power outages.
Yeah, was power outages and just being hooked up in an RV park. Another fear we had was
finding fresh water.
Yeah, finding, okay, where do we dump our tanks? Where do we dump our trash? Trash was really a big one because it does add up very fast.
I think we fill up a garbage sack within a day and a half.
So we're always looking for places to dump our trash. It's very simple and easy when you are in an RV park to just throw your trash in the dumpster there. But when you are out in dispersed camping or boondocking somewhere way out in the middle of nowhere, you just don't have that luxury. So you have to get creative without being illegal on where you want to dump your trash.
Without being illegal.
You can't dump it in the desert. You can't just go into someone's driveway and dump it there.
So another fear we had was being completely by ourselves, not having community. Whereas in RV parks, we would at least be surrounded by other people and see people, and the kids might find other friends to play with.
Yeah. Another fear we had was not finding enough places to be able to boondock.
Knowing that boondocking is usually in pretty remote locations, our concern was whether or not we could fit our trailer into those spots safely. I know a lot of our friends they just go and they explore and they're dragging their trailer along behind them, and I'm just really cautious about ever pulling it off of a main road until we have scouted the location ahead of time.
There's no alligators to fish.
There's no alligators in the waters?
Fishies and turtles.
I don't see any alligators.
Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Hi, Stefan. We're having a nice trip.
Okay.
I just step.
We're having a nice trip. We're out here at the lake.
Yeah.
And say bye.
Bye.
Okay, now you need to get down. Oh, kisses. Before we left Washington, the only experience we had with boondocking is when the power went out in the park a couple of times, and you had to get out the generator and figure out how that worked.
And that was only for like 2 or 3 hours. It's not even that long.
Not too bad. But it was winter time, so we had to like run our heater on it.
Yeah.
So we didn't know what we were capable of.
Our first night boondocking was not something.
It was an accident.
Yeah, we had not planned to do it, but the RV park that we had planned to stay at ended up being full of meth heads.
It was sketchy.
It was very sketchy. Yeah, let's move on. This is not gonna work.
It was not a safe place for our kids, for sure. So we didn't even stay. We did a loop through the campground and left.
All right, everybody, we made it to our first location, and it wasn't the one that we were planning on, but this is kind of why you want to plan for multiple locations when you're traveling somewhere. We went to a spot in Roseburg, and that spot was very, very sketchy. So we decided, hey, let's keep driving, and we ended up at Seven Feathers Casino down in Canyonville, Oregon. They have an amazing boondocking lot. As you can see, there's tons of trailers everywhere. I mean, they're all the way down the row here. The one thing we weren't planning on was how cold it got that night.
It was the beginning of March in the mountains in Oregon.
Southern Oregon, yep.
It was pretty cold, you guys. But we survived one night and got back on the road. And everybody's had those travel nights, right? Where you just do it.
I think we ran our battery really low that night. We were like, we gotta keep the heat on somehow. We got up, we managed to make it through. I think our next real experience was just the opposite. We were wanting to try to boondock in Amarillo.
We chose the wrong time of year to go boondocking. It was dead summer. It was like August.
We were like, maybe the breeze will help. No. 100 degrees during the day, both days we were there. And
we couldn't get the rig cooled off more than like to 84.
Yeah. At night it got down to about 85 degrees outside. So it was just like...
Garrett was running the generator most of the day while I was at work, just trying to keep the rig at a livable temperature, and that was pretty hard.
Yeah. We, again, survived. This has been quite the remarkable first time boondocking. We have this, the blue sky, that is rolling in. Supposedly it's supposed to be hail and lightning, thunder, 60-mile-an-hour winds. It was about 106 today where we're at, and it's dropped to about 99, which is a good thing, but it also means that it's just super hot today. It was a good learning experience because we'd never done it really before.
We learned that you can't run our Instapot and our AC at the same time when it's a very hot day. It's just too much draw.
Yeah. One of our first long-term experience with boondocking was at the International Balloon Fiesta rally with full-time families.
That was so much fun, and we were surrounded by 48 other families, and all of us doing the same thing, just living life.
Yeah.
Because it was October in New Mexico, it was still nice and warm outside during the day, but not too hot, so we only had to run AC maybe a couple days for an hour or two.
But what was really nice about that experience is that most of the families there, or at least over half the families, had been doing it for so long. They're like, if you need anything, let us know. We will help you out.
Water was also easy to obtain, and we had 2 6-gallon water jugs at that point. And so we would just load them into the back of the truck and then siphon them into our tank. I think we did that 2 or 3 times while we were there.
After the balloon fiesta, Carolyn went back to finish her contract in Amarillo. I moved on to Flagstaff and ended up boondocking for almost 2 weeks while we were there.
I think you did this because of cost effectiveness. You did stay in a park for a couple of days.
We had major expenses coming up into the boondocking when our truck broke down, and we had your car had issues, and we were paying for a hotel and there was just so many expenses coming up right then and there. It was like, it made more sense to just jump into it. I'm like, I have experience. I think I know how to do boondocking. Let's just find a place to boondock in Flagstaff, and we'll wait it out till Carolyn's done.
It was dropping into the lower temperatures while you were there. Did you ever have to run the generator all night long?
I did a couple times. We are doing things a little differently. We've been on the road for over a year, and this is really the first time we've actually done some serious boondock. I wanted to give you a little bit of an idea of what we're up to today. We have been at this site for about 4 days. We are filling this into our tanks. With all the boondocking we're planning on doing this winter, we're gonna be using this thing a whole lot.
Your face is so dirty, I love it. All of these experiences helped us to understand how we could boondock, and that set us up for our final major boondocking that we experienced in 2019, and that was Phoenix, Arizona.
We ended up spending about 9 or 10 days in RV parks while we were in Phoenix, which meant about 80 days of boondocking.
It was pretty good, guys, and we went from location to location. We did find our favorite spot out at Saddle Mountain.
Yes.
Off the Tonopah exit.
Yep. We do have plans to winter again in Phoenix. It was really a good experience for us, and
I'd love to go back.
yeah.
In the next few weeks, we're going to cover these fears that we had and some of our experiences and how you can be more prepared as you venture out to do boondocking.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And as always,
Live life intentionally.
Well, when you change it to picture mode, then it'll take pictures.
No.
Oh gosh.
No.
It's green snow.
Go away. Hey everybody, I'm Garrett.
Hey!
No.
Go play! Don't come back.
Kind of misconceptions people might have going into boondocking. How we
Go play and don't bring any more green snow. We're recording. Look, Mommy and Daddy are on the camera.
see, we're on the cameras.
So I need you to go away and be quiet.
No, don't
No.
bring it over here.
Go do green snow elsewhere. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Who's calling you?
Kansas. It is a.
Kansas City, Kansas?
I keep telling them to cancel my free subscription to their magazine.
Oh.
And they keep telling me that they want to give me all the options before they'll cancel. I'm like, no, just cancel
Oh, you won't just listen to their options and then just say
it. No, because it's
cancel?
10 minutes of my time and them trying to convince me that
Oh, but they'll keep calling you. I had a lot of personal fears. A lot of fears.
it's still working.
A lot of fears.
Okay. We were not sure if our rig was capable of boondocking. Edison.
Okay, you need to go find something to do. Battleborn batteries.
Solar.
We didn't have every.
Of course.
We can go down by the lake.
Let's move closer to somewhere else that's not as loud.
Let's just start over again.
Next was after.
Come on.
Come on, my brain's not working.
Good. I'm glad.
Mom, you want to come see?
I will come see when Mommy and Daddy are done here. Go inside.
The wind's getting up. So these are just some of the experiences and fears that we had. So these are just some of the fears that we had and some.
Start over again.